welcome to Ford's Theater. I'll be your tour guide today. Ford's Theater came to be in 1861 when John T. Ford found the abandoned First Baptist Church on 10th Street. And he decided it would be a good place for a theater. So he leased it out, and it got turned into a theater. In 1862, while they were putting on a play in there, a gas pipe sprung a leak and it burnt down. But then John T. Ford rebuilt it in 1863 and called it Ford New Theater. Yeah, Ed?
So, John T. Ford is why it's called Ford Theater?
Yes, John T. Ford was the founder and owner of the theater. Yeah?
What's T stand for?
His middle name, I wasn't able to find that out. Yeah, Delaney?
When was it burned?
It was burnt down in 1862. Yes?
Do you know what the play was when it burned down?
No, I do not. Yes, Delaney?
Why did he want it to be a theater?
Huh?
Why did he
Oh,
want it
wanted it to be a theater because theaters were a nice popular form of entertainment back then. And he thought it would be a good building for the theater just because the way it was designed and already set up. Yeah.
Why is this important to United States history?
Because, as I was going to get to before I barraged with questions, I was going to say that this theater is important to U.S. history because it was the theater that Abraham Lincoln was assassinated in. More about that later. Yeah?
How old was he when he designed it and made it?
I'm not sure. I think he was in his either late 20s, early 30s. I don't know.
Okay.
Not sure. So anyway, in 1865, Abraham Lincoln and his friends and his wife were at the theater seeing the play Our American Cousin. And a man walked on to the stage and he was doing a little comedy bit. He was saying funny lines that had to do with the play. And John Wilkes Booth thought that that would be a good time to go into the president's box and assassinate the president. He was a very strong supporter of the South and thought that if Lincoln was killed, then the South would still have a chance to win the war. So he snuck in there and shot the president. Yeah, hey?
How did he exactly sneak in? Was there security at the time?
I wasn't able to figure out the security part, but I do know how he sneaked in. So this is the president's box, and he snuck in. Yeah. This is the president's box right here. You can come up and look if you want, but this is the president's box, and John Wilkes Booth snuck in through this little door in the side right there, and shot the president. Then he jumped down 11 feet onto the stage and said, "Sic semper tyrannis," which means thus always to tyrants. When he landed on the stage, he broke a small bone in his leg because he tripped on the flag. Then he ran out the back door, and he had a horse waiting, and he just left. And he wasn't caught until after a couple days. After Lincoln was shot, he was taken across the street to the Peterson house. And he was there, and then at about 7 in the morning, the doctor declared him dead. Yes, Delaney?
Is it true that he died because there were springs in the bed?
What? No.
No.
He died because he got shot in the head.
I thought he got shot in the shoulder.
No, in the head. Left ear. Left ear. Yes?
Do you know what kind of gun he used to shoot?
Yes. John Wilkes Booth used a Derringer, and I looked at a picture of that, and that looks like a tiny little musket that's about this long, and it only held one shot. And
So
So he
basically,
had
if he
lucky.
missed,
That's all I needed,
then
right?
he was
He's
out of
right
luck
next to
and
his
he
head.
killed.
yeah, if he missed, he would have been arrested, and I don't know. Delaney?
Did John Wilkes Booth get killed because he killed the president?
John Wilkes Booth actually escaped Washington, D.C., and he went to a doctor that he knew who fixed up his leg, and he was caught a couple days later. And,
Did he go to jail?
No, as they were catching him, they actually shot at him, and he got hit in the spine,
Oh.
and more about that in a yes?
How old was Abraham Lincoln when he died?
When Abraham Lincoln died, I think he was 52.
Okay.
Not sure. Anyway, after Lincoln was shot, John T. Ford sold the building to the government because he received a threatening letter saying that if the theater was used as an entertainment place, then it would get burnt down. So he sold it to the government, and they used it as an office building. One of the floors of the office building was an Army Medical Museum, so it just had medical stuff. Yeah.
Like today, is it used just like as a monument to go and visit, or is it actually used like as an office building still?
Huh? Oh. Well, today it's actually used as it's a monument and a working, functioning theater, and they hold plays there. Yeah, Delaney?
Which floor was
Ah.
the medical thing?
I'm not sure. I think it was on the second floor. And but in June of 1883, the building collapsed because of all the office building stuff. They put so many desks and chairs and filing cabinets in it that it just overweighed the building, and it collapsed from the third floor, and 22 people were killed. So after that, it was rebuilt. The floors were all fixed up, but because of that, it looked a lot different than it had before. So in 1968, in the 1960s, late 1960s, they restored it to what it looked like when Abraham Lincoln was alive, and it was open to the public in 1968, and has been functioning as a working theater ever since. And they also did another restoration in 2007, where they adjusted lights and stuff. Yeah, Delaney?
How many windows are there?
How many windows are there? Well, let's count. 2, 3, 4, 10. There are 10 windows in the front. Any other questions? Yes?
Is it like an actual building itself, or is it in like a strip of buildings?
Yeah, it's in a big long strip of buildings. If you've ever been there or seen pictures, but in order for the building to be as big as it was, when they were building it, they had to buy buildings next to it and destroy those. Yeah, Joey?
Did John Wilkes Booth actually fight for the South?
Yeah, he was a supporter of the South, and he thought that if Lincoln was killed, then the South would have a better chance of winning. So, any final questions? Yes.
How much money does it cost to see a play there?
Well, back when Abraham Lincoln was alive, there are different seating floors, and the floors higher up costed more than the ground floor. And back then, it cost 25 cents to see something in the second floor. Any other questions before I finish? Okay. Yes.
Do you know how many? Or do you know how
It's
much
been
it
9
costs
minutes.
today to see a play there?
No, probably
minutes.
like $10. I don't know.
It's almost 5 minutes.
Okay.
And that's sports theater.
Okay, I gotta cut you off.
Yep.